Hello, welcome to Cafe Soko. My name's Dan Gold. This is a very special edition of Cafe Soko because I'm honoured to have Gare Maxwell with me. Gare Maxwell is a man who I met about 2 or 3 years ago now through Martin Charlton Communications, and he is an inspiration for the way that business people and private individuals think about their lives, their work, and their community. If you go on to GareMaxwell.com, and I'm sure that Gare will take us through this. Anyway, GareMaxwell.com has loads of great information from his background in broadcasting to his authoring of Nuts, Bolts, and a Few Loose Screws, and what's happening in his world since relocating to London, Ontario. Gare Maxwell, I'd like to welcome you to Cafe Soko. No. Just at the point when I thought it was going ever so well, his screen's gone black. Did I mention that I really hate technology? Hold on. Let's reconnect him. This is a live conversation. Was my introduction so bad you disconnected?
I'll tell you, I don't know what the Google gremlins are doing here this morning, but I think we're working overtime. One of the two.
I think you could be right. So, the background, you went from the world of broadcasting,
yes,
went into business and business coaching. That's reinvention in itself. First question, why?
That's a great place to start this morning. Why? Why did I shift from broadcasting to business, and specifically soft skills business training in the beginning? It has to do with a pivotal moment that I think happens to us every once in a while. I think it's maybe 4 or 5 times in our lives, Dan, where you are really up against the wall and you've got to make a really tough decision. For me, as it turned out, it was being on the unemployment line for the first and only time in my life. I can't begin to describe what a painful and humiliating experience was to actually go to the unemployment office and to go through the beginnings of a bureaucratic process. And I just realized that I had seen a faint glimmer of hope through a friend who had invited me to see a speaker. And at the time, I had no idea that the speaking business even existed, because I was solely in a cocoon called broadcasting. I didn't know anything else coming out of high school. My only world was that of inside a radio booth or a TV studio. And that was it. The better part of 20 years, 30,000 plus broadcasts, over 10,000 interviews, et cetera, And I think it's like anyone, when that's all you know, and that's all you've been exposed to, that's it. And I'll never forget, this friend took me to this little small business seminar, and I sat in the back of the room, and I just watched this person up delivering the program, and I thought, I don't know I had no idea what I'd ever talk about. I honestly thought, I think I could do that. And long story short, that door opened the tiniest of cracks. And one thing led to another. And I got a chance to begin by experimenting with several groups doing media training. Then I bought into this soft skills training franchise to sort of pick myself up from the world of being unemployed, and started to forge ahead. I had no idea, though, back then, that what I was really living through was the first baby steps of what I now refer to as the reinvention process. In other words, I've learned there is a reinvention code. There are timeless principles. I get calls every week from people, whether they're looking to reinvent their companies or their careers. I just had a call from a guy yesterday, 30-year journalist, a newspaper journalist, and I think journalists everywhere, all over North America and certain parts of Europe, are looking to reinvent themselves. And that's exactly what this guy, and he reached out because he knew, 17, 18 years ago, I had done exactly the same thing. So, but to answer your question, why, even more clearly, I think for me, what I learned is that through the course of reinvention, I learned to fall in love with entrepreneurship. And I think the why speaks to the freedom one has to control their own destiny. That sounds so cliche until you've lived it. But yeah, I went from being a servant and someone who got paid on the 15th and 30th with a steady, safe, secure gig. And I think I can summarize it this way. I learned there's a world of difference from having a position of influence to becoming a person of influence. And in that spirit, when the position was taken away and when it was removed, then choice became pretty simple. Either find a new position or start developing yourself as a person. So really the journey of self-discovery is probably the biggest reason why I've not only started this but continue to enjoy it still to this day, because I feel the work is far from over.
And you bring up a really interesting point in that so many people have moved from that world of broadcasting with the layoffs that have been with the media giants here and the smaller operators that really have found it a struggling market. And a lot of them have gone into, the default position of freelancing or upping sticks and moving to a different province or looking at getting their cards to go across to America or another place in the world. And some people have just left media completely, but then you've got a lot who have become media consultants. And if there's something in this world, the world needs more media consultants. I think that's a statement of fact. But I'm not going to criticize it because it's something that I did. And what I think you have to do with it, because there's lots of people who can say on their resume, I've produced stuff for, I've worked on, I worked with, but I think it's what you do with it. Now, I've joined Martin Charlton Communications. I've applied my skill set to the digital world and working with people in crisis and media training, etc. And I've gone into a team who are very experienced in this field, and I've added to the ecosystem, which I found value for them and value for me, and we work stronger together as a result. When you talk about reinvention, let's start by looking at your series, the Reinvention Chronicles. How did you decide that was a delivery method that you wanted to use to tell the story of reinvention? And what practically can people do when it comes to taking the lessons that others have learned and applying it to their lives?
Well, that's that topic alone could have me talking for the next half an hour to an hour. But the truth of the matter is, I used to write a blog back around 2007, 2008, and into 2011. I probably posted about 600 original blogs, give or take, over the better part of 4 years or so. And I ran out of gas. If you want to know the truth, I ran out of gas creatively. I ran out of gas in terms of, and when I realized I just don't love it anymore, I won't do it. And so I felt for a while I was kind of like flipping burgers at McDonald's, and the only creative metaphor I could use was that my old blog felt like the Beatles writing the same old songs from the early 60s. They had Love Me Do, and they had Can't Buy Me Love, and then they had Hard Day's Night, and She Loves You, yeah, yeah, yeah. And they were doing all those, pop numbers, and it was a huge hit. But then eventually, the Beatles matured, and they didn't want to write that stuff anymore. And they wanted to explore things like Sgt. Pepper and the Magical Mystery Tour and Let It Be and the White Album and Revolver, which is such a departure from where they started. And so I honestly wandered for about the better part of 4 years in what I call the journalistic desert, trying to figure out where's my Sgt. Pepper, where's my Let It Be. I honestly didn't want to return to the blogosphere or writing anything unless I knew I would absolutely be fascinated by the subjects, and B, that I could have some degree of not only structure but freedom within structure to create longevity without being predictable. And that's when I started to land on this, exploring the subject of reinvention. What really has gripped me from the beginning, Dan, when I figured it out, is how this topic is timeless and is universal, and it all comes down to what I've cracked. And so I started to do this process of figuring out, well, I know I went through it in the late 90s myself. And then when I look around the business landscape, I see companies that, and I've been part of some, that have done it themselves. And then I started to figure, what are their common patterns? And then so I started to realize that the subject of reinvention doesn't matter whether it's a business, doesn't matter whether it's a brand or a career, what have you. There are just certain timeless universal principles that will always be in play. And so the Chronicles, the weekly forum that I've developed, and it's fascinating to watch it get a little more traction week after week. More and more people are subscribing and signing in and commenting and you know, I think I was telling you yesterday, someone has actually been sharing quite frequently the video blog we did with your counterpart Paul Martin, which I had no idea that someone would go back into the archives and do that. My point being, there's a growing community that is interested in this subject, and then because it's such a moving target, how do you stay ahead? How do you stay on top of what's happening? And I feel it's my, you know, because of where I came from the ashes of the unemployment line, it's my duty, if you will, and my bit of a calling, I guess, to keep writing about this subject, to keep studying the process, and week by week, add to the dialogue, add to the, you know, to the conversation around what it's going to take to stay increasingly relevant. So I think if someone's watching today, or maybe watching this in a replay, I think it always boils down to three things: the ability, the capacity, and the willingness to reinvent and remain relevant in rapidly changing times. Relevance is really the heartbeat of reinvention. One of the truth. If you're not relevant, you're going to be relegated, and then at that very easily replaced. So what should be relevant? And in this space that I've been occupying for you know, better part of close to 17, 18 years, more and more of what keeps you relevant is the ability to engage in doing something like what we're doing right now, which is creating video on the internet, recognizing what an awesome communication tool the internet is, but also how much more it's amplified if you can use video as a forum, because that allows people to make instant human-to-human connections. I tell my business audiences, there is no more B2B or B2C. That's such old thinking, Dan. That's so Stone Age now. But Stone Age ended last year. That's how rapidly things are changing. So, and so in that respect, it's only age to age, which is human to human, which is what you and I are doing right now. And so the Chronicles, like I say, is a way to allow me to create that and do it myself. There's no sense speaking about it or writing about it unless you're actually doing it. And so the Chronicles is sort of my way to keep it fresh, keep me interested, as well as the audience in these topics. So, you know, just for example, last week I was on a speaking tour to Atlantic Canada. We wound up in St. John's, Newfoundland, and I knew in my background, and probably you already knew this as well, St. John's, Newfoundland was really the birthplace of the entire radio industry when Marconi went to Signal Hill. Well, I started to think, well, wouldn't that be interesting to track the fundamental parallels between what Marconi did to shake up communications when he invented radio in December of 1901 to what Reed Hastings has done with Netflix and House of Cards. And so there, if people want to watch, there it is. It's a video about those parallels and how people can actually think about what they can do to disrupt within their own categories. Marconi was a disruptor, founder of Netflix. Reed Hastings was a disruptor. House of Cards, the show, a massive disruptor, which underscores the message, which is disrupt or risk being disrupted. And that risk, I think, Dan, and I'm sure you're seeing it too out where you are, Saskatchewan, growing every single day.
Yeah, and it's through people making a difference and trying something different where we're seeing great leaps forward, where some organizations that are sticking to the way that we've done things, because this is how we've done it for generation after generation, they're maybe facing this need for reinvention. Now, I think it's very important to say that tradition is very important, and leveraging your experience is very important, but using the modern techniques and the tools that are available now, remembering you're dealing with people, integrating that in with the experience that you've got and all that knowledge base that goes before, those two things together for me really spark as something that could be gold, because learning through mistakes and learning through tough times, as our friends over in Alberta are suffering at the moment, a lot of people come out on the better side of it. It might take a really long time, but how much stronger a place it will be afterwards. We hope that everything gets on its feet as quickly as possible for them. And then we're hearing the terrible news today and yesterday in Fort McMurray with the fire, the gargantuan fire that's taking out homes left, right and centre, and they're damping down the city centre to make sure it doesn't go even further. They're on for 32 degrees Celsius today. And, from fire, you're the one that taught me about the 7 stories that resonate with us as humans. The story of the phoenix rising from adversity is a really important thing in the reinvention story. Now, just to explain, if people keep on seeing my phone appearing in this, the only way I'm able to hear Gare is via my phone. And there's something technologically up with Blab and the way it's interacting with my computer. So I can hear Gare through my phone, but not through my computer. So Blab, please go and fix that. But we're going to keep this relatively short today, and the reason is that apart from I can hear you fine, but I think that the audio quality that's coming through maybe isn't the level of quality to be able to impart the stories properly. And we'll do another test, and we'll get it working again, and we'll do a second episode in a more together environment, because whilst I love technology and how things have happened, when the things go wrong that are beyond your control, you have to admit at some point a stop point and then reinventing the session another time. Gare, if people want to find out more information about you and what you do and how you can help them, please tell us now where they can do it.
Well, the easiest place is Gare at GareMaxwell.com. The website is not only the hub, it's right on the home page. There'll be a video, so people will find out a little bit more about how vital the process of story is. In other words, any successful effort to reinvent, doesn't matter whether it's business, brand, or career, so much of that journey is going to depend on the story, beginning with the story you tell yourself before you tell it to the rest of the world. And so our philosophy is very story-based. GareMaxwell.com. I'm the only one on the internet, thanks to my mother, God rest her soul, who gave me my dad's middle name. I'm the son of a former pro golfer from Scotland. And so Gair, G-A-I-R, at GareMaxwell.com. And in there you will find the link as well, the tab to the Reinvention Chronicles, where you can subscribe. We've got a free ebook called The Branding Highway that gives people also an idea of the philosophy and some of the strategic thinking that goes into the way we craft what we call brands of distinction, which we continue to do all over North America. And now heading to Europe with a two-week tour in the United Kingdom, your old stopping grounds.
Yeah, I cannot wait to hear how that goes with you touring the United Kingdom and your speaking dates there. I wish you the very best with that. And please tap up some of my old haunts whilst you're there. This just leaves me to say on this brief episode of Cafe Soco, due to lab issues, and we apologise for those, that Cafe Soco on Blab is brought to you by Martin Charlton Communications. Any opinions or views expressed in this production may not necessarily be those of Martin Charlton Communications, people who have spoken on this, or people whom we speak of. Thank you so much for joining me, Gare Maxwell. I look forward to doing this next time, and I promise the people at Blab will sort it out.
Onward and upward, my friend. Continue to trust.